Good evening, everyone, and welcome to a new show here on Northeast Streaming Entertainment and Info. This is where I am Cool J with Linda Lou, and of course, the name of our show is making fun of cooking shows. We're kind of spoof on the many cooking shows that are on TV today. It's become a astronomical fad, or however you want to call it. But there's millions and millions of people watching food cooking shows today. I, my name again, Cool J. I've been cooking for over 40 years on every station you can think of in the kitchen. My latest endeavor is pizza chef. They call me pizza chef. I call myself the pizza guy, and I've been doing that for 10 years now. I was in the front of the house for 3 years as a manager. My co-host here, Linda Lou, spent over 30 years in the food business, mostly out front, starting as a waitress and a supervisor, trainer, and she's been a very successful catering chef for. She had a business for 8 years and was one of the best catering chefs in the area. How you doing today, Linda?
I'm doing great, Cool J. How about you?
Um, I'm hanging in there, Linda Lou, and this is a program. As I said, we're going to kind of have fun with the cooking shows, and the cooking shows they started a long time ago. Um, to me, the biggest food cooking show that really kicked it was Hell's Kitchen, of course, with Chef Ramsay. But I know you've been following cooking shows all your life, and I know you know more about the history of cooking shows than I do. And so, why don't you fill me in on that?
I started watching cooking shows, I don't know, maybe mid 20s. I'm not sure. But I was watching, I think the few, like, they were on public TV, the PBS channels. So you had Julia Childs. And then every now and then I'd pop on something else and I'd see Emerald Lagasse. And after that, I saw Paul Prudhomme. And those are kind of the ones that I remember before this Food Network phenomenon started. And The Rich and Famous with Robin Leach, he kind of, you know, he was on the cruise ships and they were showing all the foods and things like that. So
Yeah, he's the one that actually started the Food Network. A lot of people
the
don't
Food
know
Network.
that. That
Right.
the Rich and Famous guy is the one that started the Food Network way back in the 90s. But as you say,
Hmm.
it's been on PBS for years, all the way back to Julia Childs and all these pioneers. But it's
Hmm.
really become like engrossing, right? That all these people and all these different shows, whether on the Food Network or whether they're on prime time, they're all over the place, and people are just eating them up, literally, no pun intended. So, what I want to get to first is is what bothers me about these food shows. All right, Lulu, is I'm old
Hmm.
school.
I'm listening.
I'm old school,
Okay.
and they call everybody a chef today. That is, to me, totally disrespecting what a chef really is. This guy cooks for 2 years or a year, and he goes on the show and they call him chef. He's not a chef. He's a cook. So when they start calling people chefs, as far as old school goes, a chef is somebody that has reached the ultimate peak in the kitchen. I started as a dishwasher at 13 and became a line cook, and then I became a prep cook, and then I became I made it as high as first cook, which is almost to sous chef level. And they call a lot of people sous chefs that aren't sous chefs either. You've got to have either education, you've got to have experience, and you've got to know how to do everything in that kitchen and do it well. And you got to be able to run it and do schedules. To me, a chef in a kitchen, and my dad was a chef, he cooked for 50 years.
Hmm.
It took him almost 30 years, 25, 30 years to reach chef. So I don't want to hear everybody a chef. This guy from Kalamazoo comes in here, has been cooking at home for a year. They call him chef on the show. He's not a chef.
Right. You're taking what they're saying on the cooking shows literally, as far as, you know, everybody comes in, they're a chef, but You and I both remember chefs as being a certain chef had a certain hat with a certain pleat and a certain. Right now, chef is a very loose term,
Yes.
and people in the kitchens. I never heard chef so much, and working in live restaurants, working in a restaurant, you don't hear chef unless it's actually chef.
Right.
And small restaurants, little corporate restaurants, they don't call them chefs, okay, as such. So on
No.
TV, yes, you hear chef. You've got little kids, you got the little baking champions that are chefs,
Yeah.
so it's a very loose term these days. And I know you take everything like it's old school, and that's what you said. You're very old school. I kind of see where it's evolved,
Yeah.
and that's the difference. And I know it makes you kind of cringe when you hear it. You go, "That's not a chef," but that's the way I look at it. It's a loose term right now, and maybe people should be made more aware of what a sous chef is, what an executive chef is, what a chef's cuisine is, that type of thing.
I mean, I could
Which
get into
they don't do that anymore.
I could get into a whole show of what the cooking really the
Oh
alignment is.
yeah,
And I don't want to do that at this show, but you
yeah,
could because there is a lot of different things that go into what the makeup in a kitchen is, how it's run.
right.
So when I hear even I'm telling you, Linda Lou, even in my job, I hear somebody say chef, and I look at them, I say, I'm not a chef. I'm really a cook. Now they call me a
Right.
pizza chef because I run the whole thing. I need no supervision to do this. But to be a chef, you're going to talk about I supervise people. I guess I'm closer than I've ever been. But chef to me is a highly regarded position, and they kind of diminish it today by calling everybody a chef. They're not, and that just
Right.
drives me out of my mind. You know what I'm saying?
Right. The chef label should come from someone who's been to that studied in France and studied in all these and German chefs, just like your dad did. Your dad followed. He was under all different types of chefs, and he followed. And you had to learn every level before you became a chef, and each level had a certain hat. And by the time you got to that tall white hat, you were a chef and you were respected. And you find it disrespectful for those people that work that way, um, to hear these people called chef when they just come on a show and go, "Ooh, chef so and so."
Yeah, it's so overused right now. And
Right.
and another thing I want to talk about briefly about that is that if you don't go to school, to culinary school, which a lot of people do, that are in the profession, they go to culinary school, and or you don't have that experience, you have to work your way up through different ranks, and
Correct.
it takes years. So I got that out of the way. So
Yes, you did.
so let's talk a little bit about the food shows. And there's one person I want to kind of focus on today, and he's kind of my favorite guy too. But we're going to spoof
Mine
on
too.
him a little bit because this guy here he's aggressive, he's funny, and I'm gonna bring him up here on the thing here. I think I got him here somewhere. Yeah, maybe I don't. Let me see here real quick. The guy's name is Guy Fieri, right? Guy Fieri. He started out a long time ago as a dishwasher in France. He was like a exchange student, right? He met a little girl over there, a girlfriend. He made up with a little girlfriend. Well, I guess their uh, their relationship, her parents or something like that, owned a French restaurant, and that's where he started learning cooking. And the funny thing about Guy Fieri is probably one of the most funny looking guys I've ever seen. Now, I don't know if you agree with me or not, but man, white spiked hair, kind of chubby. He's driving these $1 million cars around.
Mhm.
I mean, he doesn't look he doesn't look like he should be a star, but he is. He's got that magnetism about him. So what's your opinion on Guy Fieri?
Oh my goodness. Where do I start? I enjoy watching him. I enjoy his, like you said, his corny sense of humor. Um, he's very accomplished. I've watched him do things and make things out of nothing. And he started out what with a pretzel cart when he was a kid,
Something like
and
that.
yeah, and that's how he kept going, and it's a passion of his. But like you said, you see him and you'd think he was a biker dude or something. You would never expect him to be the chef and the personality that he is, I guess,
Right.
is the way to put it. He seems so down to earth. He's so much fun. And just everybody just seems to love him. He's got a magnetism, like you said about him, that's it's crazy.
It is. I mean, if you think about him, right? He comes into the field. He competes in a cooking show and wins it. And he
Hmm.
wins it a couple times.
I watched him do that on Network Stars. Yep.
And he wins that, and then he ends up. And I don't know why I'm having such a problem here on bringing this up because it's not going to where I want it to go. I don't know why it's not. It should be, but it's not doing it for me because I want to bring up Guy Fieri in his shows. But right now,
Hmm.
my board is like giving me the hardest time, harder than it normally does. I always have problems with the boards. Always.
I know.
I'm not the
Yes.
most
That's your
technical.
claim to fame.
It it is. It is my claim to fame. So I mean, I'm trying to figure out why he's got so much magnetism. I mean, if you think about
He does a lot in the communities. He does a lot. He's built relationships pretty much all over the world. He's come from um, so many different areas. He's gotten involved in different things, and he he gives. He's like, I mean, a lot of his even when he has guest celebrity chefs on, say, like Guys Grocery Games,
right,
they are playing. They don't get the money for themselves. The money that they win, which is a very decent amount of money, goes to the charities or goes to restaurants in needs. Right now, it's more in need because of COVID and all that kind of stuff. But even before that, any charitable thing that these chefs were involved in, or something that's near and dear to their hearts, he also contributes not only on what they win, but he will match it at times. He just he's just an all around type of person. I he I've never seen anybody else with that type of network and magnetism that he seems to have.
yeah, I mean, it is true. It is true that he does. And Guy Fieri, again, when he won that competition, right? He
Mm.
got $80 million after he did his first six shows, which were pretty popular. I'm gonna get to it real quick. Let's look at him a little bit. He worked at the
Mm.
Red Lion. He was a manager at Parker's Lighthouse. 3 years he
Hmm.
was a district manager at Louise's Party Oria. He managed six locations. Then he opens his first Joey Garlic's.
Joey Garlics. We have one here. Yeah.
Joey Garlic's is is his beginning, right? He had a partner for that. And
Who
the thing,
now owns it?
yeah, and the cool thing about him, and I want to put him up there again. Look at this dude.
Huh?
Look at that guy. I
How
mean,
can he's like Santa Claus? He's a
yeah,
happy guy.
look at the white spiked hair and and
Mhm.
and enjoying life, and he should be with the money he's making right now. But anyways, he opens Joey Garlic's. He opens a bunch of them. He has little failures. He picks up other things are going on. He signs. I think a big thing was signing with Carnival Cruises, right? He signs with Carnival
Mm.
Cruises, 17 restaurants. I think it's Joey's Burger joint or something it was called.
That I can't help you with that one. I don't remember.
Guys, it was called Guy's Burger Joint.
Oh,
That's what
there
it
you go. Okay.
so he gets a deal with Carnival Cruises, 17. Now, not only are you going United States, you're going worldwide, right? You're going around the world. You're going to different places. So, very smart move. Very
Mhm.
smart move for a funny looking guy. You got to
Right.
admit, right?
Yeah.
So,
Right. Glasses bound in the back of his head, Mr. T's jewelry. You got it. Yeah.
yeah, I mean that dude. I mean, I don't know what gets in somebody's head. You got to have drive. You
Mm.
got to have a little luck, right?
Hmm.
You got to have a little luck. You
Yeah.
can't. You can't. You can't. Um, Let me see if I can do this here. Cancel. And and then he ends up with the Food Network, as I said. He gets an
Hmm.
$80 million. I mean, can you imagine back in the day, right?
Not even close. Yeah.
Julie Julia Childs and these people making $80 million.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's ridiculous.
Yeah.
But this is what happens to food. So
Yep.
so as I said, this regular guy seems like a regular guy. He opens diners and drives.
Mhm. He's very passionate. Yep. That's how. How can you not just like watch it? You know? Come on.
I know you love it.
Oh
I
my
know you.
God. Binge. I'm a binge. I'm a Food Network binge watcher. It doesn't matter.
You are. You are. There's no doubt about that.
Uh-huh.
And so he opens diners, drives. Let me say it right.
Diners, drive-ins, and dives.
Thank you. He
You're
opens.
welcome.
He gets that going, and somebody says it's really not a cooking show. It's more like a reality show. And I get his point, right? Because he's going around
Hmm.
to all these eateries, to whatever the place is, when he gets a tip, and he stops into this eatery, and while the chef is he calls the chef. While
Hmm.
they're preparing that meal, he's all up in that. He's got his fingers up in the sauces and the brines, and he's
Oh
picking
yeah.
things. I mean, what is? How do you? That's not the way to act, man. That's not the way you should act as a professional, right? You shouldn't be
Yes,
sticking.
it is.
What?
He's Hey, he even says, "I'm going to steal that." Wow, he doesn't know that. That's a trick he doesn't know.
Yeah,
Which, as he goes along, he learns. He learns from the people that he interacts with, and you know, he has brought a lot of people a lot of good fortune just by him showing up.
true.
Some people have ended up starting out in this, they've got like maybe a 20-seat place with, a kitchen where everybody's bumping to each other. The next time he goes there, be it a year, 2 years, 5 years, they have grown tremendously just in that short period of time. And nobody's disappointed. And that's the other part about it. He doesn't, um, when he promotes somebody or when he says something and people try it, it's like, yeah, what he said was true. It's not like it's not just a show. It's not all just for show. It doesn't seem to be. And a lot of people have had great fortune just behind him showing up and being there
Hey, listen,
and trying to food.
I can't argue with you, Lou. I can't argue with you about that.
Yeah.
But you can, but he's like a kid. The kid in the front.
He's
You
a big
just
kid.
you make a frosting and you put it in the bowl, and you're gonna put it on the cake, and your kid's fingers are all up in the frosting. That's what Guy Fieri reminds me of when he.
Absolutely. He's a
But
big kid. He seems like a lovable kind of guy. But when I was watching one of his other, he did a where it was the chance of a lifetime, and somebody actually has the chance to. They go through like a training. It's a show, and they do. There's different levels. But he is very, very passionate about his product, the product that he wants displayed, because his name is on it. If his name is on it, it's got to live up to a certain um what's the word I'm trying to say? A
a certain standard.
standard. Yes.
Yeah, it's a
And if
tough
it
word.
doesn't,
Linda Lou, that's a tough word. I know. I'll help
I
you
know,
out.
you know. So anyway, that's it. He's got a very high standard. He's very meticulous. He doesn't play around when it comes to his brand and his name. And
Right.
that's something about him. And he's passionate. He's not just like a fly by night kind of guy that, just doesn't, will put out anything just to have it out there.
Well, you can tell too when he goes to these joints. If it's good, you know it's good.
You know it's
I
good.
mean, he'll say it. He'll
Yeah.
say some crazy line like "close the front door" or "out of bounds." If he doesn't
Mhm.
really
Or that's
like it,
money. Yeah.
yeah. If he doesn't really like it, though, he will not. He will not. He will
Yeah.
not
He's
say,
very quiet.
Yeah. He won't. He won't put him down.
No,
Right.
no, he's just quiet.
He doesn't do that. So
Mm-mm.
I give him props for that.
Very respectful of everything. Yeah.
Yes, he is. He definitely is. And
Mhm.
you know, I feel like a storm coming on, Linda Lou. Every time I see you and we get together.
She went downtown. She bought some broccoli.
She did.
She brought it home.
This is how I met Linda Lou, everybody.
It was a great day in the grocery aisle.
Yes, it was.
She chopping broccoli.
Yes, it was.
Chopping broccoli. Chopping broccoli. She chopping broccoli.
I fell in love.
She chopping broccoli. Chopping broccoli.
She was. Yeah. She was. She was dropping broccoli, and that's aisle 3. I think I met you in aisle 3. And
You
you were
might
buying.
have, but you know what? I'm changing the name. Instead of Cool J, it's gonna be Crazy J.
Okay, that's cool. That's cool. What if I mean that's just a beautiful song. You got to admit it. I mean
Oh,
that just
oh yeah. It just
that
it
touched my
just
heart
brings
right there.
chills to my
Yeah, I got.
yeah.
Hold on a second. I gotta wipe the
Oh
tear
yeah.
away.
Oh yeah. Yeah. I know.
So I mean, I almost knocked my hat off. Did you see that?
Yeah, it did.
So anyway,
Yes.
yes, she was chopping broccoli.
Mhm.
So he gets to another big show called Guys Grocery Games, right? And I know you follow that also.
Oh yeah.
Um, I think it's pretty good, but to me, there is so many. If you want to see how good a cook is, you let him have the utensils and you let him have the food to show off his skills. But what they do in these cooking shows, and this is also in grocery games, they put a lot of gimmicks in there, right? They say, okay, we want you to make a great fish meal, but these are your ingredients, and they have like Fruit Loops in there or something, right? They give you the craziest ingredients by a machine, or they're throwing eggs down or rings around or something, and they got little slides going on, and they got a time limit to go get all these things, get them through through a cashier to make sure it doesn't go over a certain amount. Sometimes it
Mhm.
doesn't.
Mhm.
But
That's
there's so many gimmicks in this thing that I think it restricts people. Now, not that they don't make some great things out of these things,
right. Right.
but I think that's maybe it's for the entertainment value. I don't know. I don't get it.
I think it's more for the entertainment value because I did notice one thing that whenever some of the cooks, the contestants, I will call them, they he'll go, what don't you want? Because they have like he's got two wheels. He's got a wheel of a gourmet choices. So when they spin the wheel, they get this like truffle or something, high class. And then he's got a smaller wheel where you get like, I don't know, canned something,
Spam or something.
whatever. Yeah.
Yeah.
That, well, spam is actually becoming a delicacy. So I'm not
Mm.
sure about the spam part. That could be
You
on the
know,
big wheel.
we can
But anyway,
only We can only account for people's tastes, so far.
Hey, hey, hey. But anyway, so, but I noticed that when they go, oh, what don't you want? I would say 9 times out of 10, they get what they don't want.
You think it's fixed?
Sometimes I think guy's fingers back there and it stops that wheel, or when he
Yeah.
spins that spinner, it just kind of happens to be there. So
Yeah.
yeah, some of that is. But when they do the aisles and they do the different things, but when guy's got his hand in it, I'm kind of thinking that, especially when it's the group of his counterparts, the chefs that are on the other cooking shows. You know,
Hold on. I just had to hear that one more time. Go ahead. Sorry.
oh, I know. You're top one right now. Billboard, Cool J choice.
There you go.
Okay.
So you talked about the judges real quick. Now,
Yeah.
they have the same judges that go around to me to every show. They're either cooking or they're judges, right? And a lot of these judges cooking, they always lose, and they're judging other people, and they come up with the stupidest things I've ever heard in my life, right? This is not not salty enough, and you're not supposed to use salt, or this is not as and you know what drives me crazy too? Texture.
What's that?
Texture. They always talk about texture now. Now, back in the day, we knew that you had to have some kind of veggie crunch in there. But they talk about it like if you don't have texture, the dish is no good, which is not true. It's not true. You don't always have to have texture in everything you cook.
Right. The other thing is too. I think the other overused is the acidity. There's not enough acidity. There's not enough, or there's too much, or there's not a balance, and a lot of times, I don't know. I watch them, and I watch them on, like you said, they kind of make a circuit. They're on they're on Chop, they're on Grocery Games, they're on this, they're on that, and they all have a different opinion. And my taste is my taste, your taste is your taste, and whatever the chef is making that they're judging is their taste. So it's kind of, to me, and some of them, when they take the food, it's almost like, oh God, what am I going to eat now? And it's, it's kind of like, if you're going to judge something, you dig in and you try it. These, sometimes they look like they're scared to death. So
yeah, well, I might be scared to death with some of them things I see too.
Well, some of the ingredients that they have to put in it, it's kind of mind-boggling.
And you know something else, right? I mean, listen, when you make a sauce, Linda Lou, as I know by cooking for years, there's about 4 things that go into it. This is every chutney, salsa, sauce that you can make, right? You're gonna have to have something. You have to have something sweet. You have to have something tangy. You have to have something hot, and those really are the 3 ingredients that make any kind of sauce, any kind of chutney, any kind of salsa. You're either going to have a vinegar or a lemon or a lime juice, whether it's apple cider or whatever.
That's your,
You're going to have some brown sugar or some regular sugar or whatever you're going to do to sweeten it up to offset it, and then you're going to add a little heat to it, whether it's hot peppers or if it's Spanish paprika, whatever. Those are your basic things for sauces. So I don't know what the big deal is. That everybody knows that cooks.
Yeah, but I echo. On some of them, they have to make their own sauce or their own thing because they're not allowed to use maybe something from that sugar aisle or that fresh produce aisle or something like that. So that's where maybe a learning curve for some people who don't know how to cook. I mean, I can honestly say for all the years I've been cooking, I've learned quite a bit.
Yeah.
Just watching these things and listening to them. And it's kind of like, oh, well, if you can't use that, then, look what I can substitute, which is pretty cool.
Right.
I think people watch it for a lot of different reasons. Some people watch it for the maybe for the knowledge base, maybe just for entertainment. I don't know. That's I watch it. I've gotten a lot of different ideas that I
What
probably wouldn't have gotten.
Well, what drives me crazy now is everybody's posting to Facebook their dinner, and they all think that
Oh
that
my
they're
God,
all
they're all chefs.
yeah, they're gonna make it look like they were on some cooking show, and they got to take a picture and show the world that. Do me a favor, guys. Keep your pictures. I'm not interested in what you're eating tonight. I really not. I mean, I enjoy it. That's cool, but I really don't care if you think that you got a dish there that's an award-winning dish. Just eat it, enjoy yourself. I don't really want to see it. Okay, just do me
Shoot,
that
that's
favor.
just like I learned about the Holy Trinity. The only Holy Trinity I knew was religious. I didn't know it had anything to do with my food. So there you go. So
But
there you have it.
there you go. So Guy Fieri, that this is we didn't spoof on him as much as I thought we would, because the more I talk about him and think about him, this man has done a lot of work for a lot of people, a lot of charities, helped a lot of
Mhm.
restaurants out during COVID. I mean, he's done a lot of good for people. But I want to talk a little bit about his kids a little bit, and this is nothing bad. Now, of course, he's he's going to be a good dad. He's bringing his children into the business.
Yeah. Yeah.
Being around the food business as long as I have, I've seen this happen before, where you have a person, male or female, that builds a successful business, a successful 2 or 3 restaurants, and they know how to do it, right? They've struggled, they made moves, they made mistakes, they've gone through all the whole process of opening a restaurant, whether getting investments or just earning money and just going for it. And then the
Mhm.
kids are raising this. In fact, we know some right now that are living a lifestyle that
Mhm.
they've been in that restaurant all their lives. They've enjoyed the fruits of that restaurant. They've eaten for free forever. They've gotten new cars because of the success of the business. They've gotten the perks. They've been sent to college in certain circumstances, and then they end up back at that restaurant, and they
Mhm.
drive that restaurant into the ground because they don't know what to do. They don't know how to struggle. They just think they got ideas that are better than their dad or mom's, and they end up driving that business into the ground. I've seen at least 4 businesses close,
Mhm.
and it's a shame, because to me, if this kid really wants to do this, I hope that their parents send them to culinary school, work all the way up, and learn it. And a lot of parents just don't want to do that.
The only thing I've noticed, and I'm trying to say the right name. I think it's Ryder. I think it's his oldest. I I don't know if he's gone to school for culinary school or anything like that. I think most of the training and most of the experience he's had is because he travels with his dad to a lot of these, especially on diners, drive-ins, and dives. And in grocery games, he's there. He's been there. I know the little guy's been there too. And then when they were doing when the different restaurants were sending their food, that him, his oldest son, youngest son, and I believe it was his nephew, they were all there. The nephew was doing the actual camera work.
Right.
But I think I'm getting long winded here. Sorry. Um, I would hope that he would really go to school to get the training, because I know he's followed his dad around and maybe trying to follow in his footsteps in a manner of speaking, but the experience. I've never really seen him cook. I've never seen him compete. I've never seen him do any of that stuff. I've seen him judge, but I haven't seen him be judged
Yeah,
to really see if that's his niche,
I
or if
understand.
he's just going to carry on the Fieri name and tradition or anything like that. I don't know. Like you said, I hope that it's something that he would really want to do and want to strive to be and carry it on the way his dad has.
Yeah.
instead of just like falling into it, like some of the people that we know just fell into it. They were there, and it was a job instead of being something that they were passionate about and really wanted to do.
Well, you know where the problem is, and I think the echo might stop a little bit if you push back from the screen a little bit, just to give you a little hint. Now talk when you go back a little further.
Okay.
The
Am I
echo's
doing
still.
better?
We'll fix it. We'll fix it by next show. But
Yeah.
what I see is that the kids see the parents want to protect the kids. They naturally want to do that, right? I don't blame them. That's
Pass on
what
a legacy.
that's what parents want to do. They want to protect them. They want to make sure they're financially set. They don't want them to go through the hard times. But you've got that's the way you learn. You don't
Hmm.
learn by taking all the fruit from the tree, and the tree's bare. Because if you don't know how to grow that tree, if you don't know how to if you don't know how to prune that tree, if you don't know how to take care of that tree, that fruit's gone and you're all set. And I just hope that his boys get his boys are serious and they take care of their dad later on in life. That's all I have to say.
That's not me.
That's not you? Okay. So anyway, so again, we'll work on this, folks, in the next show. Make sure that the echo and the vibrations aren't going through. We got to set it up a little different, but we'll take care of that. Last two things. He's
What's that?
opening. Last two things.
Hmm.
He's got the tournament of champions, which you love, and he's got some
Oh,
kind of
yes.
barbecue coming up. The tournament of champions I have watched a couple times. It is pretty cool. He is a great promoter.
Hmm.
He's great at that. He really is. So
Yeah.
I really like the way that Guy Fieri promotes his shows, runs his shows. Man. He's like I'm telling you, the guy is a great not just a smart man, not
Hmm.
just a real good cook, but he's a heck of a promoter. Linda Lou, you got to give it to him.
Oh, I always have. But like you said, Tournament of Champions, that one really catches me because these are Iron Chefs. These are James Beard Award winners. They are, I mean, it's unbelievable. And what they're given to do is just like totally out of their realm. And it is, the randomizer is a random thing. And just watching them and seeing what they can achieve in that short amount of time is a phenomenal idea. His ideas of his show with his shows are very thought provoking. There's a lot of knowledge base there, and the entertainment value definitely is there, and it keeps you coming back to watch more.
I agree. I agree, Linda
And I
Lou.
do. You can make fun. Like we said. He's just this jolly guy, like he said. Body by food type of thing. So he's
Yeah,
always
he's a
he
funny dude.
jokes. He jokes about himself. He can laugh at himself, which is very respectful in that manner. You know what I'm saying?
Something Chef Ramsay cannot do is laugh at himself. That's one thing he
No, he
can't.
takes himself a little too seriously
Yes,
for
he does.
my,
And guess
but I
what,
find
folks?
him entertaining. He's more entertainment than,
Well, guess
and
what, folks?
sometimes cringing.
We have a lot of shows that we're going to go through in this series. We're going to have a lot of fun. Hell's Kitchen is going to be one of them. So as we
Oh,
go through the whole series, we're going to, take Chef Ramsay to task, and we're going to take a couple of these other shows to test. I hate Chopped. I can't wait to
oh, I
get my.
know. I don't know why.
I can't wait to get to that one because that is the most absurd show I've ever seen. And the host, for some reason, looks like he has a stick up his butt just to be really truthful. So,
Be nice.
folks, that was nice, believe it or not. So, folks,
Yeah, it was.
thanks for joining us for our first show. As I said, a little technical problems the first show. We'll fix it up. But I enjoyed talking with Linda Lou. This is Cool J and Linda Lou bringing you making fun of cooking shows, and we'll be back next week, same place, same time. Have a great
Bon
night.
appetit.